Sport, it's not just a game. It's in your DNA. Like us, you live and breathe every moment. You dissect, navigate, and analyze. At SpreadX, we bring you a world of betting where flexibility and precision are at your fingertips. With real-time analysis across all devices, wherever you are. Enjoy sports betting that's data-driven. Next level action. SpreadX. It's in our DNA.
And there's an opportunity here. Oh, how cool is that? How cool is that? From Chris Rigg. Lights it up and drills it into the back of the net.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Stadium of Light. It is Sunderland versus Watford here. It's a 12:30 kickoff. It's freezing cold, but Sunderland with a chance to close in on those top two automatic spaces in the EFL Championship. Danny Collins is alongside me as ever. Another opportunity and to follow on from a brilliant night on Monday.
Yeah, it was fantastic. In the end, we managed to get over the line, albeit it was an own goal, but a little bit of magic from Enzo down the left-hand side, and yeah, we come away with the 3 points. And looking at the flip side today, we're playing first this weekend, aren't we? Obviously, Leeds and Burnley involved in the cup. Sheffield United playing, I think, Portsmouth this afternoon as well, 3 o'clock kickoff. So yeah, we're first up in this sort of game week really, and can we go and put pressure on against coming up against a Watford side who have struggled recently? Yeah,
we'll get on to Watford because there's all sorts of things going on with them. But let's give you the Sunderland team news. And there's a big change in the centre of the park, and not one Regis would have liked to have made, you would have thought.
No, and it's Joe, isn't it? I think he's maybe tweaked something in training, possibly. Yeah, but listen, opportunities, and Samed comes in, and maybe Daniel will just push on a little bit more. We've seen it a couple of games ago. I think it was at Plymouth here at the Stadium of Light.
It was, yeah.
He was a little bit more advanced with Samed in behind.
But will Regis have learned lessons from that Plymouth game, having to bring Samed back in for this game? Well, you know, a lot of fans will say that we weren't on the front foot as much.
No, listen, we could have moved the ball quicker. That's the one thing I would have said. Did you expect Plymouth to come and set up any different? No, it's the case. They come and sat. They'd had a 5-0 hammering in midweek against Burnley.
So
they come up to the Stadium of Light. So yeah, and in terms of breaking down, how many times do we say you've got to move the ball quicker? And we didn't really move the ball until the hour. The game was a dead rubber really, and then all of a sudden it came to life with them getting the goal. Yeah. And unfortunately, we concede at the end and only take the point from the game. Today, I don't think, although Watford have only taken well, they've lost 7 of the last 10. Yeah. So they come up here, but I don't think they'll be as cagey. I think they'll still try and play their sort of game, really.
Yeah.
Tom Cleverley's tweaked the system recently. He's gone to a back four, more of a 4-2-3-1. Earlier in the season at their place, I was quite impressed with them, actually. First half, more of a 3-5-2. Yeah. They moved the ball. We struggled to cope with their system in the first half. We were better in the second half. But they'll come up here. I think they'll still try and play their game. So I expect it to be a little bit open. Yes, they're sat 12th in the table. I thought they'd have been there or thereabouts pushing for the playoffs. They can still get back there. There's still games, of course, where they can turn it round. But no, I don't think Tom Cleverley will come up here and sort of park the bus, as it were. I think he'll come and try and have a go.
Well, there's another narrative going on there. Some would say he's playing for his job this afternoon. There's reports to be, considered from during the week. There's stuff going on the internet, as there always is, but he's still in position this afternoon, and he knows he's going to get the result.
Well, exactly that. Yeah, I think, well, a couple of weeks ago I was listening on the radio and driving around, and people were talking about him getting sacked then, and things haven't really improved too much, to be honest. As I said, 1 clean sheet in the last 12 and seven defeats in 12. So any manager is going to be under pressure, really, when you look at it. It's a results business at the end of the day. I think he's had a lot of plaudits for the way he sets his side up, and obviously since he's taken over Watford. But ultimately it comes down to results on the pitch, doesn't it now? And obviously in the last couple of months things haven't gone to plan.
Let's throw up their side for the first time this afternoon, if we can, because because they've had to make changes. In fact, they made significant changes in goal and up front, Danny, and they're missing their Bayo, who's probably out-and-out threat.
Well, he's top scorer with 10 goals, isn't he? Yeah, he got himself sent off, didn't he? Have a bit of fisticuffs in the penalty box last weekend and shunted something, I can't remember who it was now, pushed him over and got his marching orders, yes. So, obviously, without him, Dumbia comes in up top, 18-year-old. And then the changing goal, as you said there, Bond dropping down to the bench, Jonathan Bond coming out and Egil Selvik coming in between the sticks, yeah. So, as I mentioned there, I thought earlier in the season, and I've seen them a couple of times on Sky, I quite like the way they play in possession. Yes, you're always open if you're playing in that sort of formation with a wide back three, and they're there to be got at on the counter. Now, he's obviously adapted, and, you know, well, you can look at other managers who are a little bit stubborn maybe and think, no, I'm going to stick with my system, and that's the way we're going to go. But he's had to adapt, and he's changed it, really, and he's gone in with the back four. You know, Abankwa's come in alongside Pollock at centre-back there. But whoever we're up against, listen, if we're at it, you expect us to cause problems for them.
Absolutely. Okay, then let's have a little bit of a look back to Monday evening, and then, if we can, because there was some iconic scenes at the full-time whistle when Sunderland were victorious down at the Riverside. But it didn't start that way, Danny. In fact, Middlesbrough more than the best team in the first half hour, maybe.
They were, yeah. And well, this one here, Forsey should have had 2, maybe 3 on the evening. Certainly that one there, you know, little dink ball Ayling got him down the right-hand side, and it's straight in the middle. But you can give Anthony Patson credit getting across his line, but it's not quite in the corner, is it? Let off there, but not long after, they do take the lead. And I might apologise to Patrick here. I thought it was soft. I still think it is. Look, his first one there, and there is a coming together. It wasn't until we've seen it on another angle later on where, yes, it probably is. He catches his shin, and it probably should have been a free kick.
But that ball from Hayden Hackney totally unlocks Sunderland.
Yeah, well, it's almost similar to what we'll see with Isdor's from Enzo, isn't it, in a few minutes? But I just said that, yeah, that's happened, but within 5 seconds there, you know, the centre-backs there, we've got to get organised and sense the danger, and we don't. And it's too easy from their point of view between Metman and Luke O'Nien. They've got to react and spot the run, because it's 3-4. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches there. It's not like it's out of his feet and he's played it quick. So they've had time there to adapt and to see where is he, where's the danger, get back in, and we don't. And it's too late. Luke has a little bit of a nibble at his shirt there, but stays on his feet, and it's a tidy finish. Obviously a different one where we'll get onto Isidore, where he sells the keeper a little.
This is what we didn't see at the time.
Well, it's there now.
It's a nasty one on the shin, isn't it?
It's a clip on the shin, I'm going to say. A clip on the shin.
Enough for someone like Patrick.
Well, no, yeah, Patrick's holding his knee, but it's on the shin. But yeah, and he's looking there and thinking, oh no, don't put it away. And obviously they do. But I always go off players' reactions, and not too many are getting around the referee there like it's a blatant, you know, clear-cut foul as such. Patrick's having a little bit of a half appeal there with his arms open. It's a little bit naughty on Job. I think he knows what he's doing. He's left the boot there for him.
We were discussing, we thought there might have been a red card in this game because
Morris,
a couple of people,
should
have been booked on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, we were astonished that he stayed on the pitch. Well, he had one, I think it's on Job actually, halfway line, whether we see it. And then there was another one where he went flying into Dennis Sirkin, which was probably a yellow as well. So he managed to get away with it on the night. But
nevertheless, Sunderland responded, didn't they?
Incident aside, yeah, they did. And again, we've said it about the lads really. Yes, we've gone behind early on. We're away from home against one of your local rivals, and Borough still did have a couple of chances. This one again, Forster said he should have had one with a header. That there, he's got to do better. Yes, you can say Trey Hume comes across and maybe puts him off a little bit, but got to work the keeper there. Anthony Patson either corner, and he knows, look at his reaction, punches the floor. So he's had 2 good opportunities, and he has a third, which we'll have a look at in a minute as well. But yeah, credit to Borough. I thought they were the brighter side. They deserved the lead early on. You can't argue that. We didn't really get going as such, but then we got into the game, and a big key to that was getting Enzo Lafayette into the game, because you know, you'd argue he's probably man of the match for the moments he's had, but for 25 minutes Enzo didn't, I don't think he touched the ball, did he? We had nothing down there left hand side until he had that little bit of magic where he's flipped one through Luke Ayling's legs.
He hits a tame one on this occasion.
Probably his first involvement really. It's a lovely little ball from Dan Neil Scoop. It's there for him to strike first time. He goes sort of side foot, doesn't he? Doesn't catch it crisp, and it's a comfortable one for the keeper at his near post. And then Borough, credit to him. I quite like the way Borough play. I've seen it at their place. Yeah, they can see they work well on their patterns, and when it's working well for them and coming off, they're a good team. But they give a few loose passes away, and you can hear the crowd getting on top of them a little bit. And then is our equaliser now. So Trey feeds a nice ball, and Job goes up for it. A couple of Borough players come together.
This is a nice ball, isn't it?
Into Enzo, yeah. They sort of switch off a little bit on Chris Rigg. He gets a yard, then they get the good block in. Dan does really well to recover it. Pulls the trigger, why not? Yeah, he's 20 yards out. It's a decent enough strike. Edmondson because he's trying to get his arm out of the way, he sort of ends up side on, and it's just enough to come off his chest, isn't it? And then it's probably going straight down the keeper's throat if he doesn't get involved, but he doesn't know that, and then he's trying to steer it round the post there, isn't he? And from their point of view, it's unfortunate, but we'll take it. We're back on level terms, and Skipper's playing his part.
Yeah, good goal, and he'll mean a lot because he was obviously sent off in that fixture, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was here, wasn't it, last season? Yeah, it was, yeah. But yeah, no, listen, he's sort of dragging the team back into it. I think he's been excellent down there the last couple of months. Yes, you know, we talked about it, and fans would probably agree. He had a bit of a difficult start, but I think he's been excellent the last few months, Dan, in getting us going. Certainly in games when we've been behind. Go back to Swansea as well with that scream he scored as well. Well, this one's called offside. It's tight, isn't it? Again, if VAR's involved there, you're drawing lines, and it's minimal if he is offside. But we will obviously get onto the one which counted in a minute where he gets his goal, and here it is now. So just have a look at it here now. Anthony Patterson clipped down the line, and they get in a little bit of a muddle here. I think it's Luke Ayling in. Is it Morris? I think it is. Yeah.
Sirkin steals it.
Sirkin
Enzo pops
well.
it through. Look how far away he is.
Yeah, but their back line, because they're squeezed up there, they probably thinking Ayling's going to deal with it, and there's a lot of spacing behind it. A credit to Enzo, as you say there. The difference between this one and Hackney's, where Hackney's had 3, 4, 5 touches, they haven't got the time to react because bang, look, and he is. Times he's run well off the back of Edmondson, and then there's a lot going through his mind here now. Do I strike it? Obviously, Bergzog's took his opportunity and placed it past Anthony Patterson, but he's got composure, hasn't he? And he's cool in those situations. We've seen it against Hull when he got his goal earlier in the season, and it's just this little shimmy now, and the keeper buys it, and then just almost walks it into the net. And then we're in front now, and we were excellent at the start of that second half for 15-20 minutes. And we're thinking, aren't we? We're on comms, go for the killer now, go and try and get the third goal. Can we go and you know, put the game to bed, as it were? But we'll get onto their equaliser now, where we've invited them onto it and got them back into the game really. And then here's this one. Yeah, it's a lovely little move. This one, wasn't it? It's 3-4 sort of one-touch passes down this side.
It's given offside, that one.
Yeah. Tight, isn't it? And then Wilson just can't maybe sort his feet out in time really as well, but we were moving the ball really well. Again, this one, ball in from Patrick, isn't it?
They were really on the ropes at this point, weren't they, Middlesbrough? Yeah,
and then Job just trying to get there. It's what you want to see from one of your attacking midfielders, just can't quite get there. And then unfortunately Wilson again is just ahead of the ball, but at this stage now we were knocking on the door and they were on the back foot. And you're thinking we're going to go on and get the third, but
kind of out of nowhere with the momentum of the game, this happened then, didn't it? Because Middlesbrough got themselves back into it. Yeah. It was Hayden Hackney with the goal. To be fair, he took it quite well, didn't he?
Well, he did, yeah. And listen, people are arguing we're messing around, we're playing with it. I get that, but that's how we've played all season. You know, you're going to get punished at times, and unfortunately we do in this situation. A lot of people digging Luke out. I would put a bit of share on both of Luke and Job. Job's actually in front of his man there, but then he just tries to roll him, and it's not there. Listen, he's big and strong enough, just pin him and then bounce it off. I think is it Dan Neil or Mepham he can bounce it into there. Yeah. Morris steals in, and then they punish us, the two centre midfielders. Decent strike, no chance for Patterson getting across his line. It's almost side netting, I think, isn't it? Yeah. So, and then you're thinking, oh no, all that good work, we've got ourselves in front, been excellent for 15-20 minutes or so, and then out of nothing, Borough are back on level terms, and then I think Force has a good chance. Yeah, this is the one now, isn't it? Again, they've just got themselves back level. The fans are behind them again, and then there takes a touch, and then give credit to Chris Mepham. Yeah. Just he chops him, doesn't he? He's going the other way and has to adapt, and then just off the sort of inside of his thigh, and then.
Yeah, 09 had to be dead on there. You can see the ball change direction.
Yeah, you see it twice actually. I think it's Whittaker gets it, and then Luke just, as we said, gets a toenail on it, takes it off his toes there, and then we're coming again on the attack, and he does really well actually. A little ball over the top, and you think opportunity's gone away. Two defenders.
Good strike actually, isn't it?
Yeah, going away from goal really, and it's a crisp strike really. It's just on the rise, and the keeper, as you say, his body weight's taking him that way, and he does really well to adjust and get down low to palm it wide. It was a great game, enjoyed it. We had one similar, I think, Sheffield United, didn't we? That was a good game, and you enjoy those ones to commentate on really, and it was a good flow to the game really. And as I said, as good as we were, they still had opportunities. But that one's a bit tame from Morgan Whittaker. But from our point of view, as the away side, I think we certainly deserve the 3 points. I don't think Borough fans would argue that.
Here we go then. This is the big one, the third goal. Got a bit of luck about it, but how about this for a first touch coming up?
Yeah, well, Luke reads it well there, and actually,
watch this.
Well, you just think most players there will just bring it down, maybe wait for Dennis on the overlap. But Enzo, what he is as a footballer, he's got good pictures, and what he's backing his technical ability there to bring it down. Ayling thinks, I've got him in a good position. He's going to bring this. he doesn't want to dive in because he's twisted him up 2 or 3 times already in the game, but he's just got that zip about him. And, you know, Luke Ayling, he's 33 now, getting later stages of the game, he'll be feeling it. And Enzo's just that little bit of difference, that bit of magic we've got at this moment. And, you know, not playing it.
I could watch that all day, Danny.
Yeah. And he's not in his strongest position at this moment in time, but he's got 2 assists, really, hasn't he? You know, from Giles' point of view. He's unlucky. People are saying, oh, what's he doing? But, you know, we've slowed it down there. You've got 2 or 3 bodies. It looks like someone's going to get a touch, and then all of a sudden it's on him. And it comes off that bony shin, and it flies past his keeper, doesn't it? Or it, you know, ankle, sort of ankle, really. Like, and then, oh, no, Watford done. And that's the difference. So unfortunate from his.
And then there was more opportunities because Middlesbrough was stretched, and this is Mayenda late on, and then Poveda will have a chance as well, which you'll see in a second. Yeah, he's asking for it there.
Well, he's had 2 efforts there. He never looked confident with his right foot there. He was sort of setting himself, taking his time, but it was a scruffy strike. And then on the follow-up, he's had another go. And then this one now, Poveda does get the opportunity, but loses his footing right at the end, and then picks up a yellow card, trying to win the ball back. A little bit naughty down the ankle.
Yeah, stopped the game. No one was complaining about that when we were watching it, because we just wanted to hear that full-time whistle. And we will hear the kick-off whistle very, very soon here at the Stadium of Light. Get your matchday streaming passes as soon as you can right now at safc.com. When we come back, club historian Rob Mason will be on for a chat. Welcome back to SAFC Live. It's Sunderland versus Watford, 12:30 kickoff here at the Stadium of Light. Joined, of course, now by Rob Mason. Rob, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm very well, thank you. Looking forward to the game, especially after such a fabulous result on Monday. We've
got
to build on it now.
Exactly. Monday was such significant, iconic scenes at the full-time whistle, but we have to follow it up today, don't we? And we've got a pretty decent side of that. We understand there's been an injury to Job, so you know, there's needed to be a change, but
Yeah.
the fans will want to see a difference from the Plymouth game, won't they?
Absolutely. Look, Plymouth game, we never really got out of second gear. We didn't play particularly well. We had a lot of the ball, but Plymouth had the better chances.
Yep.
In the end, although they scored a late equaliser, you know, we couldn't really argue the fact we didn't deserve to win that game. But we thoroughly deserved to win at Middlesbrough on Monday night. And now we've got to back it up. You're quite right, the fans are looking for a better performance at home than we had against Plymouth. But look, we're still unbeaten at home in the league.
It's fantastic.
And
It's been a long time since that's happened.
Of course, in a 46-game season, you're going to have, you know, you're not going to play brilliantly every game.
No, of course not, yeah.
The important thing is to just keep consistently getting results. And Sunderland, here we are, we've played, 30 games. We've lost 4 games away from home. None of those games, in my opinion, we should have lost.
But one of those games was against these.
One of those games was against these. It was a late penalty. It was an unnecessary penalty. But hopefully we can come back today and you know, get a better result against Watford. We've got a good home record against Watford. Hopefully we can keep it up and keep the pressure on the teams at the top, because going into our game on Monday night at Middlesbrough, you can guarantee anybody connected to Burnley, Sheffield United or Leeds, we're looking at that result and thinking Sunderland's going to slip a little bit out of the race here. We're going to fall back. And yet we went there and we didn't just get the 3 points, we played really well. Yeah. And they'll have all been looking at us and thinking, oh, these are coming up on the rails.
Yeah.
And we've got to keep that pressure on by taking maximum points today. And although I'm very much a one game at a time man, I've also got a little bit of an eye on Wednesday night and thinking we need to beat Luton as well. But it's not, you know, it's no good looking forward to Wednesday night unless we get the 3 points today.
Exactly, yeah.
3 points today has got to be the subject of 100% of our focus, and I'm confident that we will do.
And let's have a look at the Sunderland side then for today's 12:30 kickoff. And some of those stars from Monday night, Wilson Isidore in particular, Enzo Lefebvre, who had such a brilliant game, they remain in the side, and rightfully so, because they were magnificent, weren't they, Rob?
Absolutely. I mean, Lefebvre it can just be summed up in one word, and that one word is class.
I thought you were going to say magnifique.
No.
For magnifique.
No, class is easy.
Let us both down there, Rob. Come on.
Class is easier to spell and easier to say.
Yeah.
No, he was absolutely brilliant on Monday night, and not just when he had the ball. Some of the best things he didn't actually touch the ball. It was the feints and it was the dummies that wrong-footed defenders. The way he's a two-footed player, he creates so well. I'm absolutely certain Watford will have him earmarked for special treatment this afternoon, which is fine. If they blot him out of the game, that's fine. It's going to take 2 or 3 men to blot him out of the game, and that's going to open up space for other people. And with Samed playing, I think we will see, as your graphic shows, I think we will see Dan Neil pushed a bit further forward. And I think Dan Neil's very good in that inside forward position. I think he's the man who can provide the slide rule pass that helps to break down pack defenders when they offer a low block against us, which is
I was just going to say, Rob, just going back to that, because it was actually the last game, wasn't it, here against Plymouth, where Sam had come in, and obviously Dan played in there. It was Job alongside Dan.
Correct.
That afternoon, and it was difficult, wasn't it, because you knew how Plymouth. Do you think Watford will come up? I know they're struggling in terms of form and results recently. Do you think they'll come up and sort of sit as deep in as
I think their
compact
manager needs them to win, doesn't he?
He needs them to win, but most importantly, I think he needs to not lose. They're on a bad run, and as you'll know, they've got difficult fixtures after us. They've got Leeds and Middlesbrough as the next 2 games. So it's coming into a difficult spell for Watford, but it might be a spell where they actually show what they can do, because the pressure might be off them a little bit, because they're not games that they are expected to win. In the same way that I heard Lebris talking earlier in the week and saying, let's hope Watford don't, he used the expression wake up, in the same way that Plymouth woke up after a poor run when they came to Sunderland. Visiting teams can be inspired by coming to the stadium and playing against a good team, playing against a big crowd. I mean, Danny will tell you, Danny's been in the position many, many times, either when you were playing for Sunderland and away to a big team, or when you were playing for any of your other clubs and you were away to a big team in the division. As in the dressing room, you don't go out there fearful. If you've got anything about you, if you've lasted more than 5 minutes in football, you go out there thinking, I'm going to show what I can do. And I'm equally sure that lads in the Watford dressing room today will be thinking, big stage, live on Sky, big crowd, biggest crowd we'll play in front of this season.
Our season back on track.
Go and see what we can do, and they'll make it difficult for Sunderland, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a quick look at that Watford side then, if we can, because, Danny, they've made 2 changes. You know, we know there's been a suspension to the front line, but they changed the goalkeeper as well. Yeah,
I'm not sure what's happening there in terms of, Bond's been there a while, hasn't he? He's been in and out, I think, and then obviously Selvik coming back in. this afternoon, and obviously the big change for them is up top end of the pitch. Their leading goal scorer, Bayu, getting himself sent off last weekend. So
they've got good technicians throughout the pitch.
Yeah.
Deli Bashiru scored the winning penalty against us earlier this season, and
Chekvidadze's the one. I really like him, against us down at their place. Good energy, good technician, moves well with the ball. I've seen him in games as well on the TV, so I really like him. We've got to keep an eye on him on the turnovers this afternoon. Whether he plays off the left-hand side, as we said, Tom Cleverley's changed it recently, more of a 4-2-3-1, and he's coming off that left, naturally right-footed, so he'll be looking to come in and get some shots away. So when the likes of Trey Hume are bombing forward, it's important then that Samed is switched on and covering and getting across and picking up for him. But yeah, they've had a dip, obviously. I thought they'd be there or thereabouts playoffs when I've seen them against us. I thought they were excellent in the first 45 minutes at their place. We adapted it and were better in the second half, albeit we lost it late on with the penalty. And I've seen them a few times on TV as well. And I thought, you know what, they're a handful when they're at it. Their system was really well. Obviously, as I say, Cleverley's changed it recently because results aren't going to plan. But if they turn up this afternoon, I think Rob said it there, the pressure's on us. There's most people coming here, like it was against Plymouth, expecting us to pick up the 3 points. They'll turn up quietly confident. They come up here, and you want to be the pantomime villain in front of 40-odd thousand away fans. You want to be there and say, do you know what, boys, let's quieten the crowd down, let's get on the front foot, early goal, and we're right in this. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's have a look at the league table if we can, because that's what all the Sunderland fans have been looking at before the weekend's fixtures start. A couple of FA Cup games this weekend as well. And looking at the top of the division as well, Rob, Leeds and Burnley already played a game more than us before we go into this weekend. Sunderland, if they get the goals right this afternoon, could actually go above Sheffield United, couldn't they?
They could do, if we get the goals right. I mean, you say Leeds and Burnley have played games this week. They have done because they're involved in the FA Cup, so they've brought forward their fixtures and they've already won them. That puts a little bit of pressure on us, but equally Sheffield United don't play till after us, so it's an opportunity for us to put a bit of pressure on Sheffield United. And yes, looking at the goal difference, Leeds are well away as the top, as you can see. Burnley, have, because of their mean defence, I think they've only conceded 9 goals, have got a very, very healthy goal difference. But if it comes down to goal difference, you can see there's nothing in it between Sunderland and Sheffield United. So if it was Sunderland and Sheffield United vying for one of the automatic places, goal difference might come into it. But while it would be nice to think we could win a game 3 and 4-0 at some point and really give that goal difference a boost, the important thing is just get the points on the board. Offer me a 1-0 now and I'll bite your hand off.
Yeah, because what'll happen, obviously, our game, we kick off 3 o'clock Sheffield United. I think they're playing Portsmouth, so most people, again, they're at home, would expect them to win this afternoon. Pompey not great on their travels, but they'll come in after their warm-up half-2 and you're asking the coaching staff how Sunderland got on. Oh, they've won. Oh, they've gone above us. Right, we need to go out and do. So the pressure is then on them, of course it is, and that's how it's going to be throughout the remainder of the season, you would hope, certainly from our point of view.
Are Leeds starting to pull away a bit?
Looks like it. I mean, they've had a great little win. I mean, they won the other night at Coventry, where I gather they played very well, and obviously last Saturday they won 7-0. So they're flying at the moment. However, they've still got 15 games to go. They're not going to be flying all 15 games. They're going to have a little sticky patch. And that sticky patch might involve them losing it home to Sunderland in a couple of weeks' time.
And of course, they've got the most expensive squad in the division. They're meant to be there or thereabouts.
Leeds at the moment are the favourites to win the championship. No question about it.
I think they were before the ball was kicked, weren't they? So there's no surprises there.
Credit to them. Credit to them. But we've got a game in hand on them. We've still got to go there. The better the opposition for Sunderland, the better we play. We might get beat at Leeds. We might have to hold our hands up and say, well played Leeds, you're a better team than us. But I'll tell you what, we'll give them a heck of a game, and I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Sunderland go to Welland Road and win. We can close that gap. All we've got to do is look after ourselves, win our own games, and if Leeds do have a little bit of a slip up, make sure we're in a position to pounce. So let's not get the idea that Leeds have pulled away and we were just chasing second place. Obviously, if we get second place at the end of the season, that's happy days, you know.
Well, because the gap is so big between ourselves and Middlesbrough now, for example, who will level on points with that 6th place spot. It would take something disastrous, wouldn't it, for Sunderland to draw out the playoffs now, wouldn't it?
We shouldn't be thinking about the playoffs.
No.
If we end up in the playoffs, we end up in the playoffs, so we'll have to tackle the playoffs and try and come through them.
I don't feel anyone in those places either.
Neither do I, but I don't want to be in the playoffs. I'm not interested in the playoffs. I'm
interested in the top 2. A once-in-a-lifetime trip to Wembley.
Done it a couple of years ago in League One. Did you not enjoy that, Rob?
I've been to Wembley plenty of times. I'm not bothered about going to Wembley. I'm bothered about getting into the Premier League. I'm bothered about going to Old Trafford, going to Anfield, going to St James's Park, going to Tottenham's new stadium, going to the Emirates, having a big game on the fixture list every week, and big opponents here every week. Never mind Wembley. Let's get in the top 2. Let's get promoted. Let's chase that. Let's really chase that down because we're good enough to do it. if we end up in the playoffs and we've got to go through that route, so be it. But our mind, our focus should be on, we're close to it. We're coming into the final stretch of the season now. We're into February. Chase that top 2 position. Keep putting pressure on the top 3 and see if we can come through. Because I tell you what, I've seen those other teams, and including Leeds, I don't think any of them are better than us.
And that'll be a carrot that's been dangled to those players. They know they're in the chasing pack, those players in the dressing room down there, don't they, Danny? And what an incentive that is for them.
Oh, massive, yeah. And I think I don't say there's no pressure on the lads, because as we've said in recent weeks, podcasts and top pundits have mentioned the other 3 sides, and we've gone sort of quietly under the radar. But at some stage, obviously, we're right amongst it. 2/3 of the way through the season now. Yeah, as Rob says, 15 games left coming into it. So, but we're right amongst it. Nobody, for me, has been better than us. I go back to Leeds, half an hour or so. But over the course of the season, Leeds are obviously doing something right. They've got the +9 in the last 2 games in terms of goal difference as well. But when we turn up, when we've got everyone fit, obviously Romain and Tommy, you would hope will be back out there sooner rather than later. Then Enzo can maybe come inside in his preferred position. And teams will look at us, and on paper they go, "Well, tell you what, Sunderland are a tidy outfit. We know we're going to be in for a tough game this afternoon or this evening."
Okay then. We'll leave that there for now. Thanks, Rob.
Just one little thing. Let's mention Anthony Patterson today. 150th appearance, only the 10th goalkeeper in the club's history to reach that status. So he's doing very, very well. Let's hope he can keep another clean sheet this afternoon.
Yeah, and I heard we're only about 5 games off Luke O'Nien reaching 300 appearances.
Indeed.
And I think he's played the most games out of anyone at the Stadium of Light.
Yeah, he holds that record already. Most games of any player at the Stadium of Light.
Fantastic.
And he's closing in on 300.
Okay, we're not there quite yet though.
No.
Thanks, Rob, for your company.
Cheers, Rob.
We will see you very soon. Of course, if you are watching around the world, we'd like to say goodbye to you now on YouTube, but stick with us for the full early afternoon kickoff here. You can get your matchday streaming passes right now at SAFC.